Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. In today's video, I actually have my tote bag next to me, but I am heading out to Trader Joe's to pick up some ingredients because I will be recording cooking up some lunch and dinner by following recipes from my very first vegan plant-based cookbook. I've never really used cookbooks before as a guide to create new recipes and to try new recipes and get meal inspo ideas. So let's go to Trader Joe's and get what we need, and once I'm back home I will share with you my new precious cookbook and all of the gems that I've been gaining from it so far just by reading through it. So let's go. Trader Joe's visit was partly a success. I was able to get most of the vegetables needed for both of my recipes today, but they're pretty much lacking when it comes to the selection of spices. So the only spice I was able to pick up was a mixture of the sesame seeds and black sesame seeds and white sesame seeds. But other than that spice, the others that I needed for my recipes, Trader Joe's did not have it and did not deliver. So I am going to head over to H Mart now because 9.5 times out of 10 H Mart will have all of the Indian spices, Asian spices, just everything you need in that department. And also I couldn't find the flat and thin ramen noodles that I'm supposed to whip up and as part of the ingredient list, and I'm pretty certain that H Mart sells that in packets. So I'm gonna head over there now. But all in all, I'm glad I stopped by Trader Joe's because right next to Trader Joe's is my favorite local coffee shop, and this is the first time I've ever kind of branched out at that coffee shop. I always end up getting a vanilla latte or a matcha, but today I wanted to switch it up and try this coffee smoothie, which I'm thrilled that I did because this perfect balance of the freshness of the coffee taste and the feeling that it's giving me, but also just tastes like a sweet treat. And you can add toppings in it, and I added Oreos and they mixed in the Oreos in this cup. So super content. Now let's do our second grocery visit. Here is the highly anticipated plant-based cookbook that I referred to at the beginning of this video. It is called Joyful, and it is written by Radhi Devlukia Shetty. She is a health and wellness content creator, and the super fascinating thing about this book is that, and I will get into that piece a little bit later after I cook up the meal and the recipe, but the really fascinating part is that she is more of a holistic wellness practitioner and uses a lot of the principles and guidelines from the Ayurvedic medicine, which is something that she studied and has incorporated those lessons and tips and wellness practices from Ayurvedic medicine into this cookbook, which I think is so cool that it is a well-rounded form of medicine. And in Ayurvedic medicine, the emphasis is on prevention so that you don't end up getting symptoms of illness, whereas in Western medicine, the focus is on finding the cure after an illness has already kind of taken over the body. So anyways, this cookbook is more than 125 plant-based recipes, and ironically and fitting enough, but I used little chopsticks as my bookmark because I couldn't find any and I didn't want to fold the pages. But the recipe that I just went out to get ingredients for is this delicious looking, stunning rainbow noodle stir fry. And so this is what I am going to walk you all through as I attempt to create it. And then later this evening, it's already 5:30, but if I get hungry again later tonight, because I have a tendency to stay up late, and so that means I get hungry again for a second dinner, I might end up also cooking up the zucchini, fennel, and mint soup as for a light dinner, and walk you through and show you that process as well. But let's get started first with the rainbow noodle stir fry creation. Here we're going to do a quick ingredients haul, and I did want to confirm that I was able to find dried curly ramen noodles from H Mart. So this will definitely come in handy, not just for this noodle stir fry dish, but just future dishes of any kind of, meal that requires noodles. And then the second thing from H Mart I was able to grab was a sambal olik, which is a chili paste that is required in the recipe. The only disappointing thing is that at H Mart I was not able to find the asafotida spice, and that is the only thing in this haul you'll see that I don't have, which is part of the recipe list. So, but all in all, if that's the only thing I wasn't able to find, then I'm not too mad about it. But we have next in the lineup cilantro. What else? I have the shredded green and red cabbage mix. And I got 2 of these bags just in case there's not enough, especially because these bags are not just like green cabbage or one or the other. It's a mix of both. It's a combo. We have shredded carrots. So the recipe actually called for spiraled carrots. So basically carrots that are cut out and shaped like a noodle. But I couldn't find that specific shape and version at Trader Joe's. So this seems like the closest we could get to that version. So shredded carrots it is. And then I also know that the recipe called for shredded or spiraled zucchini, and they didn't have a spiraled zucchini type, so I just got the regular one. And for the second dinner later tonight soup meal, that also requires cutting up some like regular zucchini, so this will come in handy for both recipes. Oh, I just spilled. Okay. Luckily, nothing with liquid. Okay, and this is just almond butter, creamy, and the only ingredient is raw almonds. So I'm assuming that this doesn't have added sugar. Hopefully not. But this will go into the noodle stir fry. This is not part of either recipe. I just grabbed this because I have vegan cheese already at home, and sometimes I'm not a huge snacker, but sometimes I get particular cravings and I don't want like a huge like regular meal, so I just like to have something on standby. And so these crackers will be good on those days where I have snack cravings, where I can just put the vegan cheese on top of it and it'll be delish. But this is the Japanese multi-purpose seasoning I mentioned in the clip in the car, because it's the only seasoning or spice that Trader Joe's had, which was part of what I was looking for, which is the black sesame seeds are included, but this one also has white sesame seeds, salt, and a couple extra things, but it'll do. Oh, the table is slowly getting all filled up. This is something I don't think I've ever had, or at least I don't remember ever eating, but fresh fennel. And I'm supposed to cut the heads of it, or I don't even know, cut the stalk or something. So that'll be for, I think, the soup recipe. And we have our mint leaves. And then we have cilantro, or not cilantro, celery bites, and some ginger. And that's it for my Trader Joe's and H Mart haul. Now we gotta just do the actual cooking. So fingers crossed everything turns out looking somewhat and tasting somewhat right and yummy. So far I have added sesame oil and then a tablespoon of chopped up minced ginger. And then I let that cook for a few seconds, and then I added the mixed green and red cabbage to the mix, and I'm supposed to let this cook for a couple minutes and then add the spiral zucchini and the carrots. So that's what you'll see next. The only thing missing from the process so far in this skillet is the asafoetida spice that like I said before, I could not find at both of the stores. So it's the only thing that's missing from this. But I think it has simmered down now, and the recipe said to wait for the cabbage to kind of like get more flat and come down a bit, and then add the rest of the veggies. Okay, so obviously this shape of the zucchini is not spiralized, but since I could not find that version, like I mentioned, at the grocery store, and I don't have any tools in the kitchen that makes the veggies spiralized, I just ended up cutting them up as thinly as I could, and we're just going to work with that and add this to the pan. Update: the ramen noodles have been cooked and set aside, and next, to create the dressing that goes into the stir-fry noodles, I have added soy sauce, agave syrup, white vinegar, almond butter, this sambal olik that I bought today, and what else am I missing? Something? Nope, I think those were all the liquids and aminos that I was supposed to add, and now I'm going to blend it all up. But we're almost done, friends, so I know I am just so ready to obviously taste this, but just have it be done. Okay, now the noodles and vegetables are combined, and the next step is to add the blended dressing into the mix. It smells delightful, might I add, so I am quite the excited gal. I'm just gonna keep stirring and mixing for the next few minutes. Here is the final product. At last, we've made it to the end, but the last couple steps of the recipe was to sprinkle on some black sesame seeds and add some cilantro on top. And you can see here, this little black seaweed looking thing is it's a spice that I bought from Trader Joe's that included black sesame seeds, but it also had seaweed in it, which is why you see that added to the dish. But it kind of creates this elevated look aesthetic wise and texture wise to the dish, so I'm not mad about it. Let's do a taste test, shall we, for the rainbow noodle stir fry. Okay, bon appetit. Let's, fingers crossed, this is as yummy as it looks. Okay. Wait, this is pleasantly surprising. It has so much flavor. I can taste the dressing, so the soy sauce and the almond butter and the hot sauce that I added. Oh my gosh. I guess I should say the chili paste. Wow, this is tasty. The wild part is I didn't even add any salt. I mean, there is soy sauce, so that can make it kind of substitute for salt. And also I added a little bit of garlic powder. I'm such a fan. I did not get around to making that second recipe, which was the zucchini soup, but that's okay. We will save that for another video. But I wanted to take this moment to close out this video to share some of the wisdom and just gems of knowledge that I have been consuming and just absorbing by reading through this cookbook. And just look at her in all her glory. This is just such a stunning book. And you can take the cover off of this, which I think is so versatile, and you can make it look more minimal and simple by taking that sleeve off. But I just thought I would share, like I said, some of these super fascinating and just really eye-opening and mind-blowing facts and tidbits and just pieces of knowledge regarding Ayurvedic medicine and all of the holistic positive impact and long-term impact that it has on your mind, body, spirit, and just everything health related. So just fun fact, in Sanskrit, Ayurveda translates to the science of life. Ayur is life and Veda is knowledge. So just to give you some context and background on the actual term, it's more than 5,000-year-old discipline, the oldest health science to exist. So to kind of explain it in the simplest way, if there were to be a summary of what Ayurvedic medicine is, this is what she describes. These are the general practices rooted in Ayurveda that everyone benefits from, and they are the following. Number 1, eating more plants and spices. Number 2, living in rhythm with nature and your own body. Number 3, surrounding yourself with the energy, attitude, intention, and feelings with which you want to fill yourself. I just feel like a whole new world, cue Aladdin. But truly though, I feel like a whole new world has opened up for me, and this new realm of truth is just smacking me in the face. And so I'm definitely intrigued, as you may tell, and I'm excited to dive in and not only just learn more about Ayurvedic through this cookbook, but also just do my own research, read some books on it, and listen to podcasts about the topic, and just do more, just look into more information that exists out there, because I truly feel as though I only have things to gain from learning about it and implementing it into my day-to-day lifestyle. But one of the really cool fun facts that I learned in reading about Ayurvedic medicine through this cookbook, Ayurveda teaches that everything in the living world, including the food we eat, can be divided into one of three gunas or modes. The first one is called sattva, which is the mode of goodness. Second one is rajas, which is the mode of passion. Third one is tamas, the mode of ignorance. So, to dive a little into the specifics of each of these modes, at the bottom of the food chain, as it were, are tamasic foods. These are considered low vibration foods and have the same vibration lowering effect on you. Think deep fried foods that have sat for a long time in the fridge and are sapped of their original nutritional value, and food that involves suffering, such as food derived from animals. These foods require extra energy and effort to digest, and they don't lift your consciousness or your energy. As a result, they will often leave you lethargic, unmotivated, and meh. They are frequently at the root of many health issues. Rajasic foods can give you energy, but often only fleetingly and with an aggressive edge. Think processed foods, sweets, and caffeine. Things that stimulate you, but only with a temporary burst, often followed by a crash in mood or energy. They feed the body at the expense of the mind and long-term health. Rajasic foods can also be plants that possess overstimulating, agitating qualities such as onions, garlic, chilies, and coffee. That's why you won't find many of these ingredients in my recipes, but more on that in a moment. And then there are sattvic foods. These are free of additives and preservatives and are typically plants in their whole unprocessed form. Think whole grains, fresh fruit, nuts, and seeds, and vegetables. They are easy to digest, elevate the happy hormones in your body, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, to lift your mood and help you feel balanced, and they raise your consciousness and your vibrations. Also, something that is super interesting is that she orders the recipes are in order based on and reflect the cycles of the day. And so she kind of breaks up the 6 equal pieces of the day and explains the positives and the benefits and the tips and tricks, what to do and what to consume when it is that time of day. So from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is kapha, which is this period where waking up before this period or in the very beginning is optimal. Closer to 6 a.m. than 10 a.m., which for the girlies like me who are very much not a morning person in the slightest, that is a pretty unrealistic time frame. And it's something that to aspire to in a dream world. But anyways, she is kind of going into describing how it's often the best time to exercise because you can bring gentle stimulation to all of your body's physiological systems. And it's also the best time to, before you eat your first proper meal, to drink beverages like chai tea and just really, really light fluids and food. And then 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is pita, and this is when during the daytime, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is going back to what I said about the recipes being reflective of the cycle of the day that you're in, because 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is peak afternoon, the sun is the hottest and it is the brightest part of the day. It is also the time when your digestive fire starts revving up, and so she recommends eating food in Ayurvedic practices. You would eat your heaviest and your biggest meals during that period so that your digestive system metabolizes the food faster, since during that time period your body is just working harder and it is already active. And at the same time, it's also perfect for metabolizing your biggest thoughts and tackling your biggest tasks for the day. And then 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. is vata, which is the phase when the nervous system can be heightened. So think about leaning into the vata qualities of creativity, movement, and flow as a way to balance and ground yourself. Think about creating a peaceful environment and shift from your left brain analytical work you did in the morning to softer, more imaginative and creative right brain tasks. This will serve you as a transition between the events of the day and the preparation for evening. 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the phase called kapha. The sun setting brings a return to kapha in its slowest, most grounded form. Your digestive fire dwindles, which means meals during this time should be light and easy to digest. And this is just the time where you are starting to prepare your body to ease and transition into sleep. And then 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is pitta, which is during this period, your body systems are kicking back into gear for the night shift. And this is when your digestive system, circulatory system, and nervous system metabolize and process the day. And then 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is vata. And so the recipes, like I mentioned a couple times now, follow the cycle of the day, which is so interesting. And the recipes early in the book, like drinks and breakfast, are perfect for lighter morning meals, while recipes in the middle of the book, pasta, lentils, bread, salads, main dishes, they're better suited for midday when digestion is more robust. And then toward the end of the book, which is soups, we're returning to lighter dishes, she says, that suit a body preparing for rest. I just feel like I've already gained so much knowledge, and I also never saw conscious eating, conscious cooking as these important and crucial parts of your mindfulness and just your day-to-day, how you incorporate spirituality into lifestyle. I never thought that those two aspects of essential tasks, essential human things like cooking and consuming and eating and chewing your food, those can be done in such a conscious and mindful way. But at the same time, our body is made up of systems that is part of nature and is already connected to nature. And that was it for my video today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.